Hello you guys, I'm back again with another Yoni Pearls video. Um, it's been a while since I have done any of these videos. I've not abandoned you guys, my Yoni Pearl friends, fans, subscribers, and casual visitors. So this is going to be a review video on the Yoni Gems brand. And I thought this would be a good time to do a review because actually this is my third time using this brand because it works so well. Also, I've just never reviewed this company, but I like them. So, Yoni Gems, this is the, off the top of my head, third company I've tried. And as of now, it's the best, I think. It's between Yoni Gems and V-Love, which I've had a very difficult time finding V-Love pearls anymore. Maybe they don't make them like that. But they do make other products that I've not tried. So the Yoni Pearls by Yoni Gems. I believe this is a black-owned company. I'm not 100% sure. I also think they are Atlanta-based, which is a plus. Obviously, I am from Atlanta originally, and still very connected to the city. So I love supporting my ATLpreneurs. So, on to how these pearls worked. This is gonna sound scary, but really it was kind of great. So, and also you can, like, if you haven't guessed by now, I'm kind of adventurous. But okay, so the Yoni Gems. So the directions are more or less the same. Actually, since I have it in front of me, I'll just read them off to you. So obviously wash your hands before removing the gems. Always wash your hands because it's going to be inside of you. And you want it to be as sterile as possible. So wash your hands, remove the gems from the packaging, unravel the string. Do not forget to unravel the string. Want to know what happens when you don't unravel the string? Go and check out my video. I think I entitled it My Yoni Pearl Got Lost. And that'll tell you about that whole ordeal that I went through. I think I may have nearly forgotten again, but not nearly, because I freaked out and had a flashback and I was like, no, unravel. But yeah, I didn't get that close to doing it, but anyway. Yeah, so unravel the string from the top of the Yoni Pearl, or the gem, in this case. For multiple gems, if you're gonna do 3 at once, which you do 3 at once, 2 at once, 3 at once, whatever works for you. After you've tried the brand before, if it's your second time using that brand, you didn't have any bad reactions, you're comfortable with what happened the first time, do 3 at once. You're ready for full strength, or you should be. Like, people and bodies and products are, like, over time using something can be unpredictable, but the theory is that you should be ready for all 3. If you're still apprehensive about doing 3 at once, you could do 2 at once, or you could try 1 again and then do the other 2 the next day. So okay, they say to put it in, lay on your back with your knees to your chest, use your longest finger to insert deep into your yoni. I don't put them in like that. I put them in, yeah, like just like any other insertable feminine product, like menstrual products or whatever. Anyway, but if that works easiest for you, then great. Not to be too, well, is that too graphic for me to say? Finger length also matters. So if you have short hands, then lying on your back would help you, because like the further up you put it, the better off it is. And it's less liable to cause you, less likely to cause you irritation and things like that, I've found, because it's further up. But yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Anyway, however you're comfortable putting it in, as far as you can get it with the string out, remaining outside, do that. Okay. And then step 3, you know what's funny? They don't tell you to leave the string outside, but you're supposed to. That's kind of, leave the string hanging outside your body. Otherwise, you're going to end up like me in that other video. And trust me, you'll freak out because, yeah. these things can have a way of disappearing even though there's nowhere for them to go. But anyway, so okay, they say if you're going to do one gym, that's the test gym. If you're doing one at a time to try it out, the first gym, leave it in for 24 hours. This is a standard instruction that every brand I've tried has given. You try one. If you're new to the brand, you try one for 24 hours. If it goes well after 24 hours, you insert the other two, leave all three in place for 48 hours. And if you're going to do it that way and you want to tie the strings together, just tie the strings together, all three of them, on day two, when all three strings, after you've inserted the other two, you should have all three strings left outside of your body dangling. Tie those two strings together. I mean, three. Did I say two? Tie those three strings together. Okay, so if you're doing the test pearl, you do that for 24 hours. Then, if all goes well, you add the next two on the second day, and leave all three in for an additional 48 hours. So it's 3 days total. If you're just doing all three right off the bat, then you put all three in on the first day, leave them in, take them out on the third day, or after the end of the third day. Yeah, that's what you do. And so after you take it out, you're probably still gonna need a liner because that's when like the what do they call it? My mind, what the heck? That's when the purge. How did I forget the word purge? I'm a professional organizer. That's when the purge begins, and like it could take one day, it could be the next day, it could take a few days, but the purge should happen and you should have a lot of stuff coming out. So before I get into my experience with these Yoni pearls, I'll just say, like, I don't know that I've had an experience where I've had a huge purge after the 3 days. I have had it particularly, and I think it was because I was like reaching around up in there when I got that first pearl stuck. The first time I ever, was that the first time ever? I think the first time I ever used Yoni pearls, and I got the one stuck and I had to like reach in. A lot of yeast came out during that time, but I think it was because I was like reaching. But I also had a lot of kind of irritation and like yeast just like accumulating that first time as well. But other than that, and even in that at that time, so if you follow me, you know that I started using Yoni pearls because I started having irregular cycles. I had a cyst back in 2015, and I think I get them on occasion. So I wanted to like cleanse my, you know, womb and ovaries and whatnot. But so I didn't get a purge, but it did jumpstart a late cycle, a cycle that was like 2 months late that first time. This other two brands I've tried, I didn't have that happen. No purge, and they didn't really jumpstart my cycle. That could be another update video, but like the first brand kept things regular for like 2-3 months, and then I stopped using them regularly. Like I didn't use the pearls for like another couple months, and things got irregular again. Like late 1 month and then like maybe 2 months. And I tried the second brand. It was very, very mild. I don't know that I've done a video on that brand, but I think I do know where to find that company. I got them off Etsy. And didn't find them on Etsy anymore, but they are like on the internet still. Sometimes a brand will stop using a certain platform because it's just not economical for them. Maybe they're not getting enough customers, but you can still order through their direct website. Although I gotta look into that and maybe make a video on it for that second brand. But I didn't like that brand anyway. It was way too mild. But I was gonna say, if you're a girl who found them terribly irritating the first time you tried them, that like a milder option like that brand might be more suitable for your case, your situation. Anyway, we're here to talk about Yoni gems. So I was just kind of catching you up. So I didn't have real results with the second brand. The V-Love stopped selling on Amazon, and so I didn't order from them because they weren't on Amazon. They are available, I think, through the website. Yeah, maybe they were sold out at that point. Because I think there was a period where I couldn't find them. because, like even directly they didn't have them or something like that. But the company is still in business and all that. I don't mean to make it sound sketchy. I didn't want to go to try a Yoni steam. I felt like I was in dire need of fast results. So, yeah, nothing happened. I, skipped a couple cycles again. And I tried this brand. And I'm so glad I did, because the first time I tried them, I did the one Yoni Pearl. I felt fine. And for me, like, and I don't know, if you watch other videos about this, people will say they experience like, a pulling sensation or like tingling and tinges like in their ovary area, or if they've got fibroids, like where if you have kind of an issue, you might feel it in that area. A lot of times you have cysts and you don't even know it. So like for anyone, if you feel like the ovary sensation, but you've never known yourself to have a cyst, it's possible that you have some that just haven't really bothered you or disrupted anything. So don't panic, basically. So yeah, that first pearl was pretty uneventful compared to the V-Love. So I was like, okay, this is cool. The second day I went to add the other two pearls. So yeah, like, how you have to like use your finger to insert it? Couldn't do it. Could not get my finger up there. Why? Because it was like snatched, like completely snatched and locked shut, to the extent that like I couldn't, nothing was going up there, and everything functioned fine. Like, I could go to the bathroom. It wasn't like anything I noticed until I needed to put something up in there. And, yeah, it just wasn't opening. And I mean, like, it's like nothing, I've ever experienced before. It's one of those things, like, if you've done Yoni pearls and you've tried them, you kind of like, how it goes, how things tighten up. These really tighten things up. So, yeah, that's kind of how that went. And also, so the other thing, it was really tight and like around the exterior is a little bit sensitive. And my theory is that it gets sensitive like as your body purges yeast. Yeast is an irritant, and it's coming in contact with your skin, and that makes it a little bit irritating. I actually have a spray that works really well for that and stops the irritation like in its tracks. And you know what? It's a black-owned business. I might as well just like drop that for you. I will name the spray because I can't think of it off the top of my head, and I will put a link to it in the description. But it's by a company called Detox. They're in Philadelphia, and it's like a lavender soothing spray for down there. And it soothes, it soothes, it freshens. It's just an all-purpose kind of like gentle spray that came in like a package of I bought some wash for down there from them, because like if you're still using regular soap, don't. Anyway, like I bought some of their products, kind of like Honey Pot or whatever, but this is like a small business in Philly. And I think the spray came with it, whatever. But the spray is really good for the Yoni pearls if you get irritated, FYI. So I used the spray. I didn't need it the second time, but I used it that first time and it really worked. But, things were really just like closed down. I guess like my situation just like thought that we were like closed for business entirely, taking like a vacation for detox or something. Sick leave, whatever you want to call it. Not sick, because it wasn't sick. That's a bad thing. Yeah, not sick, but like closed down for like cleaning or renovation or like, I don't know, deep cleaning, let's call it, because we do daily cleaning over here. But, anyway, yeah, I couldn't get my finger in there. So like, I was like, no, this can't be. So so if you're having trouble inserting pearls, you can, put coconut oil on them, or even water kind of works. Like if you do it in the shower, sometimes I'll insert them in the shower. Water makes it easier because like the little cloth that they're wrapped in can irritate and scratch and all that because it's not moist basically, so you have to moisten it. And I So I did some coconut oil and I tried to work with it gently and I was able to get it in a tiny bit. Or actually I got it in pretty well, but it didn't go all the way up. If you get my drift, it was still like, it wasn't at the opening exactly, but it was up a little bit further. It wasn't like all the way up where you put it and you can kind of leave it alone and it's not in the way of anything. It was almost there, but not really. And that was like as far as I could get it. So I was like, okay, well maybe like I'll leave it here and then like in an hour or so, either it'll work its way up or the drawing effect from the first pearl will draw it in maybe, or I'll be able to like move it in a little bit further. Things might have like relaxed a little bit more. Yeah, no, nothing relaxed. If anything, it was like double the power. Okay. And in addition to that, so if you recall a couple minutes ago, I was saying that I went back to skipping cycles because, I didn't keep up the first set of pearls. I thought they were done because things were kind of regular and then they stopped being regular. Um, so I didn't keep up with them. But yeah, so I like after about it was irritated because like it got really like it wasn't irritated like there wasn't any breaking out or like heavy discharge or anything, but it just felt really irritated. Just like something pressing up against there, but like really uncomfortably pressing up against there, and which I mean that is uncomfortable, yeah, because you don't generally have things that you just like leave in there. Yeah. I could feel the pearl, but not only could I feel it, but it was like a little bit just like like I don't want to say scratchy, just like I don't know, like if you like rub the back of your hand repeatedly, how it gets like that friction feeling or something. That's how it felt. I was like, you know what? I'll just be patient and we'll see how this goes. Well, eventually I was like, you know what? This is stupid. Let's not do this anymore because it is uncomfortable and this is your body and yeah, enough is enough. So, I went to pull it out, which was now kind of a bit of a like because it draws. So, it was coming out, but it was just so like uncomfortable, I'll say. Like I wasn't in any excruciating pain, but it was just kind of like you've got you've got like the yeah, it was just like sensitive. And actually, you know what? Actually, pulling it out wasn't a problem. It was really sensitive. I went to pull it out, but as I was pulling it out, it was beginning to start the next cycle, that was severely delayed. That's why I really wanted it to stay in because I had started spotting actually. So I'm balancing the discomfort that was relatively mild at first with starting to spot and the whole reason I was using these was to jumpstart and re-regulate my cycle again because I had slacked off. And so I was like, great progress. They're working just like the first pearls. They really do the job, whatever. And this was like maybe 36 hours in, if that. So it wasn't even like the full second day. It was very early into the second day, I believe. So I was like, well, let's just leave it a little bit longer, see if it brings on like a full cycle. Also, I didn't want to waste this pearl after leaving it in for only like 30 minutes or something like that. And I felt fine for the most part. It just, felt like I hadn't pushed it in far enough. But when I went to kind of like adjust it, that was when it felt more irritated. And I was like, and then like the spotting and I was like, oh my God, what if it broke some skin or something? Like there were no signs of it causing bleeding. It was definitely spotting from, like pulling things out, that whatever was causing like the cycle disruption, kind of cleansing that out. But I was like, I wasn't gonna leave it anymore because it was uncomfortable and I just kind of like basically freaked myself out with the bleeding so that I wouldn't talking myself into thinking that the bleeding might be, from the irritation. It totally wasn't. And actually, so I pulled out the second pearl and I just saved the third one because these are actually incredibly potent And yeah, so that second pearl, like a few hours in, if that, maybe it was more like 1 to 2 hours, I was able to leave it there before it just got like irritating, annoying, feeling like something was constantly like pressing, like it wasn't pushed in far enough. If if you've used certain products, like how that feels if it's not like pushed in far enough and how irritating it can be. But yeah, so like point being, these pearls are so powerful that they did what the V Love pearls did. And I don't mean to brand shame or any of that, but just comparison. What the first set of pearls I used did after 3 days. And really, like, the cycle didn't start until like maybe 4 days after I finished the third pearl, or after I finished, with all three in. So that was with the first set of pearls I used. It took like 3 to, let's say, 7 days, closer to 7 days, for it to re-regulate and jumpstart the late cycle. These were able to do that after like 30 to 36 hours. Probably, I forget how long it was. It was definitely less than 36 though. But not very long into um putting the second pearl in, and it wasn't even in all the way. It was just like more or less at the entrance. Or it was beyond the entrance, but it wasn't all the way pushed up where it should be. And it started to get things started, basically, however they work. So I ended up wasting that second pearl, but it's not a waste because I was uncomfortable and I erred on the side of, safety. Um, but the third pearl I saved, and I ended up using it again like a month later to see if just the one pearl would jumpstart my cycle. Because actually, the spotting stopped once I took the second pearl out, or not immediately, but like it stopped like maybe half an hour after. So I know that it was probably jumpstarting that missing cycle. But unfortunately, like I couldn't push it into where it needed to be so that it could rest comfortably and do its thing. But that's okay. So, the third pearl did not work as I had hoped it would because it was just one. So now I know that, for that purpose, for me personally, two is the best bet, or the better bet. Um, so long story short, I actually ended up, so part of my problem, and I think it's like for people with PCOS, which I've not been diagnosed with that. But maybe the next time I go, they will say that I have it. Hopefully it'll be like all settled out, straightened out, before like my next appointment, and everything will be clear and that won't be even necessary, the diagnosis. But for people who do have PCOS, I started looking into it, and that disorder actually is linked to your like metabolic reasons, your insulin resistance and things like that. So, long story short, I basically started working on that to see if it would regulate my cycles, and I started taking another supplement that I will review that worked really well. So I took it for 1 month and then had a cycle, and then like everything was good. Basically, these Yoni pearls didn't do their thing because I wasn't able to use them at the recommended strength, basically. Um, I ended up taking some supplements and I found one that appears to be working. Another symptom of PCOS is difficulty losing weight. I am not overweight, or I don't look over. I'm definitely heavier than I have been in the past. I'm a size 4'6". That's what I'm trying to say. So, like, I don't struggle with obesity and things like that the way people who do tend to have irregular cycles that are linked to PCOS do. But I am heavier than A, I would like to be, and B, than like I typically am with my frame. Like I have a slender frame and like small, like my bones aren't very, like I have, like slim bones, and I'm a very streamlined person. That's what I'm saying. And I know that I have extra weight, but like looking at me, you wouldn't necessarily think yeah. You get what I'm trying to say. Like normally I'm a size 2, but I'm a 4'6". So, and that all happened like actually happened before I left from overseas, and it just I couldn't losing weight was more difficult than it typically is, especially like if I'm going to be this the weight I'm at, like I should be losing easily. So I started looking into um internal metabolic remedies to and I eat a lot of carbs. That's another thing, and I know that's not good for you. So I was like, you know what? Let me work on my insulin resistance. And I took a supplement for that, and it's actually been pretty helpful in terms of like losing inches. And oh my God, like when I first started taking it, so I have some smalls. Um, and don't come for me, please. I'm just like telling my story. Um, I have some smalls that were fitting like tight. Um, they looked really good because like they were all shapely, but they were fitting tight. And after I took that supplement for maybe a couple weeks, my smalls were like fitting looser, and this dress I have, like it was kind of like falling off up here. The straps were kind of falling off. So I know that it works. It works for certain things. It works for me. It works for other people in the Amazon reviews. So I'll do a separate review on that. Anyway, I have to cap off the Yoni Gems review. I have another packet of them, and I'm going to do maybe I'll do it this weekend. I need to do another detox. Although my cycle, like, I feel like it's going to be regular, like on time again. So I should probably do this like sooner rather than later. But I'm gonna do another one. But what I'm going to do differently is insert. I think I'm gonna do two. I'm tempted to do 2 or 3 pearls at once. Just like a normal, you know, occasion on which you've tried the new brand worked for you. The second time you do 2 at once, 3 at once, usually 3 at once if you want to just like go full throttle. I may do two this time because like these are really strong. But I like them because they get the job done. Um, so I had no irritation after that. I had no, after I did like the 1.5 pearls, I didn't have any irritation after that. I left the one in for 3 days. Just like you would do if you put them all in. I wasn't able to get any more in. I didn't want to even chance it with the third pearl. Um, but yes, so no irritation, everything was fine. Didn't even really have much of a purge after like maybe a tiny bit of yeast came out, which I'm a sugar eater, I'm a carb eater. If you eat sugar, if you eat carbs, you're probably going to have some yeast that comes out. I'm not a person who gets yeast infections either. But like I know myself, and I know how I am with the sugar and how Candida feeds on sugar and all that stuff. I'm gonna try to pretend. So, that's what happened with that. Highly recommend this brand. It's Yoni Gems once again. They do specials all the time where you can get like 6 pearls for $21. They have a detox tea, which is basically, you don't drink it. You, put it in, it's a steam basically, but it comes in like tea bag form. I think I'm gonna try that next because I got some things you need to, like if you do steams you need a whole setup, and I got something to create a setup. So I'll probably try that. I don't know if I'm gonna do it next because I do like the pearls, but I'm gonna try that in the future. I just haven't felt like steaming. I mean, it's summertime. But yeah, I will let you guys know how my second time with the Yoni Gems goes, using them at more of a full strength. I think I'm gonna try 2. But yeah, I'll let you guys know how that goes, since the first time I couldn't do it full out. But yeah, like, even let me once again reiterate, even when I say that I was kind of irritated and couldn't put the second pearl in, it was more of like sensitive, like it was really tight, and a little more sensitive. And when I was able to get it in, get the pearl in a little bit, it just felt uncomfortable because it felt like there was something halfway in, halfway out, kind of. Albeit like a very small pearl. I could still feel it, and that was irritating and in the annoying kind of sense. And then it just got to the point where like I couldn't stop thinking about it because it would just felt like something not brushing, but just like pressing up against, and just no. And it wasn't getting any better. I thought with like moisture or something it would get better. Nah. So, yeah, don't endanger yourselves. I just wanted to make it clear I wasn't doing anything dangerous. If your body says no, then listen to your body. But just know that if you're new to Yoni pearls, a little bit of irritation, meaning let's say you've got the pearl all the way up in so you can't feel it, you might get like a little bit of sensitivity, a little bit of like, I don't know, like mild irritation. It shouldn't be anything serious. If it is serious, if it's serious and you're having discharge, it's probably yeast. So, you know, use a yeast type remedy if you want to keep purging. And it goes away. I'm also going to link that spray that I use in the description. But that's it for this video, you guys. I'm going to do another video. I know I've been promising you a video on what to do if your Yoni pearl gets stuck. So lots of you have been commenting on the first video about getting your Yoni pearls stuck. Thank you for your comments, guys. If I miss you, it's because my comments are filtered weird. They don't always come through for some reason. Like even people I know will leave comments and they'll be marked as spam, and then I'll have to go back and search for those comments like at the back end of my channel. I'm gonna try to change that video so that it'll allow all comments to come through. Sorry if I missed you guys. I'm gonna go back. I always respond to people when I see you though. You know, even if it's just to check in, I might be like a few weeks late, but if it, you know, I check in to see how things went for you, if you know, had any learning experiences or tips that you could share with what happened in your situation. You know, I appreciate and love the feedback, so do not hesitate to comment under my videos. Questions, concerns, some brands you tried out that you like. I think the next brand I might try, I really like Yoni gems. I'm going to keep ordering with them, but I've been wanting to try the Pangea pearls as well. But so yeah, that'll be a separate video I do at some point. So anyway, guys, thank you again for checking out my videos, for showing the support, the love for, this content on women's health, topics that aren't often talked about, topics that people might feel a way about, whatever. I forgot to do my disclaimer for the men to click off, but, you know, they should know by now. The title says what it says. So anyway, you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, be well, stay clean, stay safe, and stay organized. Talk to you soon. Bye now.